how do you get a good idea for a SaaS product?
That is a really good question that I don't really have a great answer to. I mean, to be honest, like I've tried, if I had a good answer to that, I think anybody who has an answer to that like purports that, I think is going to be not wholly truthful. Because if we had a good answer to that, I could systematize that, pump it out, right? But I think there are versions. I think there's mental models for trying to decide those kinds of things. And I think it is valid to think about like what exists out there and what could you be different at in terms of like solving the problem. Because to be honest, like people want the same outcome, but they want it delivered in different ways. So you might have an edge to a really big market, and that might be perfectly okay for you to go build something that's like a better mousetrap. That's fine, right? I don't think that there's one version of figuring that out, other than literally asking people, like talking to people. I think that is the answer. And the thing that I've gone back and come back to over and over again, and this is less about the idea and more about the distribution channel. And I think maybe I'm like jumping the gun on with one of your questions potentially, but what first time founders would look at is like what their product is, and what second time or later founders are going to look at distribution. And that's a pretty normal, like that's been said, but I do think that that's true. And I do think that like if you really don't know where your distribution channel is going to come from, and you don't understand how that's going to happen, then you probably don't understand enough to get it done, to actually like make it successful. And I think that the distribution channel, or the source of wherever your customers are, I think that answers the question for you. Like I always go back to the customer. I always am going to say, well, your customer has the answer to that question. I don't necessarily know how to come up with a great idea. Mm-hmm. All I know is what's the worst thing that somebody's experiencing? What is the difficult transition they're trying to go through, and can I help them get there? That's the answer to me. I think, in terms of distribution channels, I think the ones that I've seen that work the best are ones that are what I call the barnacle and the whale. You have the huge gorilla, 800-pound gorilla in the space that does X, Y, and Z, and you're just the guy along for the ride, and you attach yourself to that. So it could be like an app store thing, an add-on, like whatever. I've seen companies that have gotten D rounds in venture capital, and they literally make all of their traction through the distribution channel back in the day of just being a widget that was included inside of MySpace. Like, right. That's it. I mean, and they got hundreds of millions of dollars to build that thing, and that was their distribution channel. They were a barnacle on the whale of MySpace at the time. But I think you can do that methodically too. So you can come up with good ideas and just say like, here's the big whale, and here's what I think that they're missing. That's one way. So another model that I like to think of is that every solution to a problem creates a new problem. And so this is both the answer to, potentially it could be an answer to what a good idea is for a brand new thing. It could be also that you have something and you're trying to figure out, how do I extend and create more revenue? But if you think about the solution to any problem, let's say like AI, let's say that AI is the solution to our content generation problem, right? So that's kind of like the prototypical thing that a lot of people use AI for. So I want to create a bunch of content and I can't. So AI comes out and like, great, solves my problem, right? So now the next question is, what's the new problem? Well, the new problem is I got all this AI content and it all sucks. So I want to filter anything AI written out, right? So what product could I build that now checks whether it's AI written? Or what if I actually want my content to be written and pass those checks, because that's the next step, right? Like now there's checkers out there, but I want to get through that and show that it is human edited at least, right? So now I have to take my AI content and have a tool that goes and humanizes it. Now there's humanizing tools, right? So every time you create a solution to a problem, there's always going to be another problem that shows up. It might be that you're just trying to get people from A to B in a transition, and you're just solving one step of their problem. Or it could be that something new came out and creates a new problem that nobody ever had seen coming. But either of those places is a good place to start too. So, but I think there's lots of mental models for this.
Hey, it's Ryan here. If you liked that video, please click the like and subscribe button somewhere down there and check out the full interview right over here. Go on, click it. You know you want to.